Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. My name is Franklin Martin, and today I want to give you some information on health, more specifically mental health. But before we start, first I'd like you to take a step back and imagine yourself playing with your children in the yard. Now I want you to imagine yourself playing with your children in the yard, and all of a sudden you forget who you are and what you was doing for the last 10 minutes and have no recollection of what you've been doing. That scenario is just one small scenario that people that are diagnosed with CTE go through throughout their daily life. With all the things that pertain to CTE, today I want to give you some information on the causes, the effects, and the inability to be able to diagnose CTE until one's dead. So with that being said, I would first like to give you the causes of CTE. The neurodegenerative disease known as CTE is most known for being caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Concussions, which are also caused by trauma to the head, are known as warning signs, early warning signs leading to CTE. Discovered by Dr. Robert Cantu, taking multiple concussions to the head and concussive blows builds alpha-tau proteins in the brain. Alpha-tau proteins in the brain over time is which leads to form CTE in the brain. CTE can form in the brain after years after your last concussive hit. So for example, you can get hit in the head with a softball 2 years ago, and 2 years down the road, you can start getting CTE effects. SIS, which is an acronym for second impact syndrome. According to the American Orthopedic Society for Sports Medicine, SIS is a cerebral swelling that comes when you get hit in the head or one gets injured in a previous spot that you had an injury in the past. So next, I'd like to inform you on the effects of CTE. CTE being caused by hits to the head, the most commonly diagnosed with this disease are athletes, more specifically athletes that participate in contact sports. Studying those who have carried CTE, they're on record showing symptoms of psychosis, memory loss, and Parkinson's disease. According to Dr. Robert Cantu and his colleagues, the symptoms that I just mentioned are all stage effects of CTE. Those are the 3 stages of clinical deterioration of the mind, one having CTE. Dr. Corselius, who primarily studies in neuroscience, is the one who discovered that. With the cognitive issues one has when carrying CTE, the issues have caused them to carry out uncharacteristic acts. The big discovery that correlated CTE with violent acts was the death of Mike Webster. Mike Webster was a former NFL player who had committed suicide, and they didn't know until he had CTE until after he died. Noted in the Scholarly Journal by Jeremy Gove, it was noted that Mike Webster was in so much pain while he was alive with his CTE that he had to zap himself with a taser every night to go to bed just for him to fall asleep. With the death of Mike Webster, there were a lot of questions of why and how his death was out of nowhere. So it led to scientists, studies of scientists on his autopsy, and leading to the autopsy on his brain, they discovered CTE and the alpha-tau proteins built up in his brain. So with all the weird circumstances and the deaths of former athletes, they was wondering what was going on, especially Mike Webster. It was discovered that CTE can only be diagnosed post-mortem. With the autopsy of one's brain after death, if discovering a buildup of alpha-tau proteins, as mentioned before, in the brain, then he or she can be diagnosed with CTE. In the Journal of Neuropathology, written by Dr. Cantu, a study of mortality discovered all confirmed cases of CTE, 90% of all those cases were all athletes. So in conclusion, the major cause of CTE is taking concussive blows to the head. Repetitive hits to the brain and obtaining multiple concussions over time build up alpha-tau proteins in the brain. The buildup of these proteins result and develop CTE in the brain. Those that have CTE go through multiple stages of clinical deterioration and cause cognitive problems, which leads them to maybe causing harm to themselves or others. At the time, CTE can only be diagnosed post-mortem with an autopsy of the brain. So with all this information, I hope you guys and whoever's watching this video takes some time to realize how vulnerable people that play contact sports are to getting this disease. Thank you.